Those two pages are back on your front.
Well, that's your seat for you.
He's like, oh, I know, I agree.
Like they say, you know, yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, wireless phone.
Yeah, I'm back.
Good to see you. I'll talk to you.
It's okay. I got this, that's enough. I got this just in case there's a question.
And I know that's not going to be a point.
First,
Come on.
This one I'm not going to forget.
Okay.
Folks, please rise to the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order, and the first order of business is to approve the minutes from the January 17th meeting.
Your mic's over there.
Somebody stole my mic, you said.
All right, there, I'll give Joe one. I move to approve the minutes from January 7th.
Sure, your mic.
I make the motion to approve the minutes from January 7th, 2019, as submitted.
Second. Any comments from the audience? Brian? Make sure that one works.
Test 1, 2, classic. Actually, I have one question, and sitting here, I realized I actually have two. In the meeting minutes, it said that Dave Weber was appointed to the Sustainability Committee. And Dave, you have been on the Sustainability Committee, have you not?
So he was reappointed.
Was that again?
He was reappointed.
Yes, but the meeting minute says he was
I know.
appointed.
Yes, you were. I saw that.
So there's one thing there. And this one, I think you want to go wait till I get to the end of it. On page 1 of the meeting minutes, it says, appointment of Barb Van Horn to the Open Space Advisory Committee for a 5-year term to expire on 12/31/23. When was the Open Space Advisory Committee created? Potentially related to this is on the township website, it shows an Open Space Review Committee. Now, Ordinance 99-1999 says that an Open Space Review Board was created, and the Ordinance 181 of 2018 changed some vacancy issues with the Open Space Review Board, but did not change the name.
It sounds like there's a typo.
Give me a second. Do we have 3 open space groups, or do we have a lot of naming confusion?
I think you know the answer.
Yeah, it's a review board by ordinance.
Can we go and change the minutes so that it's correct?
We can do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah?
I didn't notice that you answered the question about the 5-year term for Barbara, which would be a 2-year term because that's how much time she has left in her, what's the number?
You're right. That
Oh,
was
she went into an unexpired term.
Correct.
I
We're
thought it was-
fixing that tonight.
Okay, I thought it was just a 1-year term, but it's 2 years.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Thank you. Any other comments? With those changes noted, we got them. We got another one. Lane comment.
So, as far as the term you were just discussing, what if she gets reappointed? When you say it's, is it when her term expires?
Just to clarify, Barb Van Horn, what we did was accidentally put in a 5-year term at the last reorg meeting, and she was really fulfilling an unexpired term of Katie Widener. So that's what we need to fix this evening.
Oh, okay.
The board needs, yeah.
It'll be taken care of later.
Yeah.
Any other comments from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
By the way, I should have mentioned, we're short a supervisor. Bernie is out of town until tomorrow, I believe,
End of this week.
end of this week. So you get stuck with just 2 of us. Next is the police report. Chief?
Good evening. During the month of December, the police department responded to 165 calls for service, including the following: the arrest of a 32-year-old male from Stowe for DUI in the 2400 block of Conestoga Road, and the arrest of a 22-year-old male from Phoenixville for DUI in the 2200 block of Horseshoe Trail. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for the chief?
Yeah.
John?
There was an incident at the intersection of Janie Lane and Bertrand Road, and it was sort of a near drowning or something. So question 1 is it the police's responsibility to say, identify hazards like that along the road?
Not necessarily. If we come across them, we certainly will, but I don't believe we came across the one that you're talking about.
Okay, because I came across it, I never thought to report it.
You certainly could call us, yes.
And, well, then, the family made a report to the police?
I'm sorry?
After that incident, the family reported it, and the policeman came to their home, or they came here. Do you put up caution tape, or do you call the Department of Transportation? Are there any procedures to follow up so that hazard is removed?
Oh, absolutely. Notify PennDOT. I believe that what we're talking about is a state road, and we would absolutely put up tape and things like that, yes.
Okay.
Okay?
So, do you remember the incident?
I'm aware of it, yes.
Okay. Did you call PennDOT?
PennDOT was notified of it, yes.
Okay, good.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Has that response, John?
The rest of us are in suspense.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
I can tell you.
Next is the bills list. Tonight's bills list that we're going to approve is, the township bills list is $92,331.06. The reimbursable bills list is $2,231.09. Both combined total $94,562.15.
I move to approve the bills list dated January 21st, 2019, in a total amount of $94,562.15.
I'll second that. Any questions from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is just an announcement. We received a letter, the township office did, from the Girl Scouts thanking Officer Nick Rubina for a talk on school bus safety.
I have a few other announcements, if I may.
Sure.
Thank you. The Sustainability Committee is going to be hosting a Chester County, in conjunction with Chester County, a seed swap event here at the Township Building this Saturday, January 26th. It's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's bring seeds, take seeds, catalog, share stories, and build community. All budding gardeners and experienced growers are invited to join friends of the Chester County Seed Swap and for this giveaway. It's all ages and experiences can come together to share seeds of their favorite plants. Admission is free, refreshments are provided. So we have it on our website as well. I have a form if anybody would like to. Yeah.
No seeds from Colorado.
Okay. Right, I gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Moving along. Next is the subdivision land development portion of tonight's meeting. Resolution for number 7-2019, conditional preliminary final land development plan approval.
I move to approve resolution number 7-2019, 1024 Pottstown Pike Land Development.
I'll second that. Erica, do you want to give us an overview what this is?
I sure can. The planning commission received and reviewed an application for 1024 Pottstown Pike. This is Orange Realty Group. The engineer is Chris Daly. Chris, you're here tonight. And if there's any questions, I'm sure you could help assist with that, but
Absolutely.
thank you. And for this project, there's about just under 1,000 square feet of building renovation addition, some parking spaces for the construction of this facility here, and also stormwater basin BMPs. Brian Kolakowski for Aero Consulting is here this evening as well, has gone through the plan and a review letter process. There are conditions as a result of the review, and the planning commission did, in their review, approve the plan, recommendation of approval of the plan subject to the conditions listed here within the resolution of approval. Brian, if you'd like to go through any of that, for sure, this evening.
The conditions, just to summarize, are all standard conditions. The only one that's out of the ordinary is an effort to preserve a 50-year-old black walnut tree. Other than that, they're all standard conditions you see in all the resolutions. The board have any questions on it?
No.
Okay.
We saved it, right? Any questions from the audience? We're ready? All those in favor? Aye. Next is the resolution number 8-2019, the VGK-1 subdivision.
I move to approve resolution number 8-2019 VGK-1 subdivision, acceptance of deeds and dedication of rights of way on Shady Lane and Hilltop Road.
And I'll second that. Erica, do you want to explain
I
this
can
one?
go through this one. Several months ago, Vince claimed for VGK Trust had a subdivision at 1414 Birch Run Road that was approved, and the deeds of dedication are now complete, and this involves Shady Lane and Hilltop Road. So before you are the deeds of dedication and legal descriptions that go along with those items.
Thank you. Any questions from the audience? Brian?
Are the right of ways being increased from what the, let's see, law from the general roads law, I think it is, from 1836, from 33 feet to some wider width?
Brian, do you want to?
Yeah, I think that, yes. The right-of-ways are being increased to the township standard minimum, which is 50 feet.
Okay, thank you.
Only on the sides of the road that front, the VGK subdivision. It's not the entire, it's also a 25-foot half-foot right-of-way expansion on that side.
Okay, got it, thank you.
Any other questions from the audience? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next on our old business is a motion to approve or appoint George Doltinas, Planning Commission member, to the Open Space Advisory Board.
I move to appoint George Duchinas to the Planning Commission Board as a member of the, or from the Planning Commission to the Open Space Advisory Board.
I'll second that motion. Any questions from the audience? Brian? You're going to get a workout tonight, Brian.
This one I can blame you.
Good.
You're saying the Open Space Advisory Board, or is it the Open Space Review Board?
It's advisory board, isn't it?
Getting me now. You're getting me now. Review?
I brought it up the first time on the meeting minutes.
That's fine.
We've got the Open Space Review Board, and then I think we've got a whole bunch of name
Yeah.
confusion.
I mean, it's semantics, yeah, advisory review. Yeah, I'll pull up the ordinance, we'll get it just right, okay?
Got it.
I do want to add, it would be a term for 2021, since we revised the ordinance to,
Coincide with.
correct, okay.
Well, we need to change that motion then.
You second it?
Yes.
I'd like to make a
Change to the term.
modification to the terms of the appointment to 2021.
Correct.
Any other comments from the audience? Seeing none, call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Next is the appointment of Bart Van Horn to the,
Open Space Review Board.
Just to that committee.
yeah, to that thing, yes. Appointment of Bart Van Horn to the Open Space Advisory Board for a term to expire 12/31/20.
I'll second.
You read it, okay. We're having too much fun up here tonight. Any questions from the audience? And can you get the name right?
It's Open Space Review Board.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Next is under new business. Joe, there's a public hearing for the, do you want to conduct that?
Sure. I'll now open the hearing. This is for the discussion over whether to acquire a conservation easement for a property known as 18 Acres LLC.
Years.
I'm sorry, 18 years LLC. The following exhibits are introduced into the record. Board Exhibit 1 is the legal notice. Board Exhibit 2, the letter to the Mercury for this, dated December 26, 2018. Board Exhibit 3 is the proof of publication from the Mercury on January 7 and January 14, 2019. Board Exhibit 4 is the resolution itself. This is to spend $55,000 to acquire a conservation easement that is a collaborative effort with other people, such as the trust, to preserve through a conservation easement this property. Does anyone on the board have any comments about this, or questions?
No, I do not.
Anyone from the audience have any comments or questions?
Pam, hold on, Joe. Pam, why don't you work on this? Why don't you give us a quick overview of what the easement is really about and what it's going to accomplish? Do you mind?
No, not at all. Where's my pointer?
So two of the partners from the 16 Years LLC, Paul Black and Bob Pisciotto, have acquired 53 acres. It was part of the Cutler subdivision. The land could support 20 houses, and they have agreed to extinguish all but 2 of those building rights, which will be memorialized in an easement recorded with a deed in perpetuity. In addition to the conservation easement, there will also be a trail easement, and we've been working in conjunction with Natural Lands. We're providing a crossing from the Brent Coed subdivision on Beaver Hill Road, excuse me, onto the 18 Years property. And the folks that own the 2-acre out parcel within 18 Years have agreed to locate the trail, excuse me, on their property.
On the front part?
On the front part of their property, within their actual property line. It will then go back on to 18 Years and will provide a crossing of St. Matthews Road into Lot 26 of the Brent Coed subdivision that also will connect to the trail that we put under easement on the 16 Years property on that adjacent. So we will have a connection into the preserve from the subdivision thanks to the 18 Years partners and the Pat Donahue and Bill Bauer are the landowners.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Bob didn't make it?
We know where he's in.
Bob's somewhere warmer right now.
He's having a margarita.
Pam, thanks for, I know you put a lot of time in this, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
So with that, any questions or comments?
Brief question. When I read this earlier, it looked like the township would acquire the conservation easement. But that's not the case, is that correct?
Correct.
Pardon?
Correct.
That's not, they will not.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, we'll adjourn the hearing, reconvene into the public meeting. And the next item on your agenda is the actual resolution itself is ready for consideration.
I move to approve resolution number 9-2019, authorizing the Board of Supervisors of West Vincent Township to confirm and ratify the selection and acquisition of a conservation easement on the parcel of land by 18 Years LLC, and authorizing the chairman of the Board of Supervisors, township manager, and township solicitor to execute and file all necessary applications and documentation required to acquire the conservation easement.
I'll second the motion. Any questions? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Next is resolution number 9.
And then I already
We already did that. So discussion, we're down to the discussion of the MS4 program. Do you have some new information for us?
Sure. The township has filed for a waiver regarding our MS4 program historically, and we did so for this last round. We had some comments back from DEP with regard to reviewing that waiver, and part of those comments are that we can move forward with the waiver, do some necessary reporting, which is not part of the full report, that is quite involved, and then we'll be granted that for 5 years. But they gave us a condition to implement 2 ordinances by 2022. The first is a pet waste ordinance, and the second would be an on-lot septic management ordinance. So as part of that, we really give that option before us, and so if we continue with the waiver, we have to have that understanding that by 2022, the West Vincent Township will have to have those 2 ordinances drafted and to DEP to be implemented by that point. So just wanted to give an update on that.
I have a question now. Joe, this might be directed at you. I have a water fountain out at the back of my yard, and I put goldfish in it in the summer. Do I have to measure that waste?
Someday you probably will have to.
It just kills me that it's an unfunded mandate that we're going to be forced to do it in 5 years.
And it has absolutely nothing to do with the other sport program.
Anyway, George.
Just, I know this is 2022, can you just elaborate on what exactly, is it pet waste
Sure.
ordinance, what is that?
Essentially, if you're walking your dog and there's pet waste, you have to take care of it. And if you don't, we have the ability to enforce a certain penalty for that.
So is this in public places?
No, this is
This is-
private.
Is this in your backyard?
Yes.
You're kidding?
There are a lot of versions out there, so we're looking at it right now.
I bet Joe's got a good sample.
And the on-lot septic is?
That would be giving the township the enforceability of provisions to oversee the maintenance and responsibilities to maintain your on-lot systems.
Are horses classified as a pet? I mean, can you imagine? This is just so stupid.
Yeah, you got to stop.
We'll have to
it.
find the right fit. So,
To quote our chairman on Friday, he's going to be selling diapers to deer.
Yes, doggy diapers. Anyway, any comments from the audience? We just wanted to give you an update on the MS4 because it's a big nut that's going to come in about 5 years. It'll be $40,000-$50,000, maybe
Yes.
more.
I just want to make the comment that I'm pleased that the waiver is still available to us because complying with the program is really big.
It is.
But both of these, as Joe says, if they're not related to the MS4 program, and we don't, well, it's just crazy. Yeah, but you knew that, right? Yes. Okay. But when you say oversight of on-site sewage, the Sustainability Committee, one of the recommendations was to mandate pumping of our systems every 3 years, and we opted to recommend it rather than mandate. Is that the sort of thing that would be included?
yes, it is.
Are there other specifics you could tell us about how you would have oversight over this on-site, on-lot septic?
You would have an authorized agent of the township who's responsible to watch for the licensed haulers, what type of system, if the county brings an issue to your attention, we have the right to go and enforce that. Brad, do you have any experience with that, with other townships with that?
Yes, the typical on-lot ordinance is basically a requirement from DEP to, have your system pumped and checked every 3 years. Chester County has gone to an online electronic reporting system, so the license haulers all have to be on that system.
Yep.
When your system is pumped, they punch it in the system, DEP gets a copy, township gets a copy, health department gets a copy, email automatically of you being pumped. Township's required to maintain those records as part of the ordinance.
Okay, but there aren't other, like, physical visits or things
The
like
only
that?
physical visits would come in if there is a violation, if there's a complaint, but most of the stuff, that typical level is handled through the county, because the county is your appointed SEO.
It's better, but when you have a house that, you know, perks for 4 bedrooms and you're using 1, you know, there's just,
Yes, but the ordinance would mandate pumping. If you aren't providing,
Well,
there's a remedy.
we haven't written this ordinance. DEP wants us to write an ordinance, but they can't tell us what fine to charge. So I suspect that if I'm still solicitor in 2022, that the fine will be $1. So,
let's draft it sooner, Joe.
That's a good point, actually.
Thank you, Brian. Any other questions from the audience?
I do have a question. We take a deposit now, don't we? An escrow for sewer systems?
It depends.
Isn't it $2,500?
It depends on the level of the planning application, what's required for sewage approval.
an escrow is different than
Yeah.
this ordinance.
Well, I understand that, but we can get rid of the escrow if we write the ordinance.
No,
No?
you're definitely gonna want the escrow. You may not want the ordinance, but you definitely want the escrow.
The escrow's forever.
Yeah,
Never goes away.
right.
Oh, for the special, like the Brinkley lots and, right, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
I don't like things that don't
I mean, right now, you don't have an ordinance, but you do in those of escrow, so it's two different things.
go away.
Right.
Well, I knew that, I just
Yeah.
thought we could get rid of one of them, if we did one.
We can delay one of them
Why not?
and slap people with whopping fines of $1.
Okay, moving
Okay with
on.
that.
I bet you're hoping you'll still be here for that.
I would love to write that ordinance.
The next section is for public comment on non-agenda items. I'd like to actually bring up something, because today is Martin Luther King Day, it's a national holiday, and it was brought to our attention last year or the year before
Both years.
that we have our meetings on that holiday. And I don't know why this year it caught my attention more than it did in previous years. But I just think it's a no-brainer, and moving forward, that we just don't have a meeting, we move it to Tuesday in the future. But, so I just wanted to bring that out and discuss it, but wait until Bernie gets back, so there's three of us that can decide that.
We can do that.
No, it'd be done at rework, right?
You've already
We've done
missed your
rework.
chance for this year, yeah.
Right.
So do you think that it would be adding an extra holiday to the calendar, or would you be swapping out President's Day or something?
No, it would be adding, well, Eric and I just talked about this on the way in here tonight.
So it would just affect the meeting schedule, not the,
Right.
Correct.
All that hasn't been decided, but
but that's what
Eric
you're
had checked out
thinking.
with Upper Euclid, you were telling me?
Yeah, Upper
And what did
Euclid
they do?
Township, their offices are open, but they have their regular meeting on the Tuesday.
So just,
Okay, nice
that may
idea.
be it, but like I said.
Thank you.
that's-
And John, I did mention it 2 years in a row, so you were right about that. And I didn't this year because I'd sort of thought, I'm not going to just aggravate myself with it, so thank you very much.
So that's where I heard it from, okay. Maria?
In looking at the township website, it looks like the committee meetings have, for the most part, all been moved past 7 o'clock. But it looks like EAC is still at an unreasonable hour, and I thought that the board decided that meetings would have to be at 7 o'clock or past. So is that going to be worked on? What's going on with that? And
Yes.
sustainability is also earlier than 7 o'clock.
It's
So just wonder, it's at 6:30, I believe, on the website.
It's at
Should it
7:30.
be? I'll have to look at that, 7 or 7:30.
It's at 7:30.
All right,
So
so,
we'll fix on the website if I see that for sustainability. The EAC met, they're having difficulty finding a suitable date where they have everybody present. I spoke with Vic Laubach, the chair, and they made this an agenda item for the next meeting to discuss and find a date that is suitable, and time that is suitable.
thank you.
Any other non-agenda items? John? You're getting a lot of exercise tonight, too.
Back again. Several times people have said I'm awfully critical of our accounting system, and I don't come up here and compliment it, I'm more likely to criticize it. But I want to state for the record that it's much better than it's ever been. And it's, I think we're making a lot of progress. The statements that used to summarize all the, like the 4 funds together, just were impossible to really look at and understand. So, for the record, I'm saying it is good.
Thank you, but keep pushing the issue. There's nothing wrong with that. Sarah?
Thank you. In anticipation of looking at these meetings for next year, could you make considerations about not scheduling a meeting on a third Tuesday, if that's when you were going to be having your replacement meeting? Or, for example, tomorrow night, not scheduling 2 committee meetings on the same night when some of the people need to be at both meetings. So
We do our best. It is not always easy, but we try to not have any conflicts because I know there's interest in attending.
Well, I mean, you've got one person appointed to both of those committees
I know.
tomorrow night, so
That should fix itself.
that's not
moving
just
forward.
the volunteers.
Sure.
Not just the
Certainly.
audience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the audience?
I move to adjourn.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor? Thank you all for coming out on a cold, miserable night.
Yep, easy. Yeah. Haven't seen you in a while, I mean.
Stay busy?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I saw you. I saw you. Christmas.
Yeah, well, no, Christmas. You were here for the party, right?
Yeah, and I saw you in December.
I know.
Christmas holiday was 2 weeks ago.
I'm gonna get all these things done in January, and then January, like January 25th, we'll do that.
Yeah, just depends on what you do.
Yeah. That's a great way. No, we're good, thank you. All right.
Well, not right now. Sit down.
That's all I have to do. We really don't have a choice, but if you wanted to really, maybe.